Good morning, DBS. How are you lovely folks doing this blessed Thursday? Well, today we've got a ram-packed 3 features for you. And I'm mad at my guys because they went on a wonderful excursion and they didn't take me. But we're going to talk about that for another show. Let's see what Kendall has in the newsroom.
Good morning. A new smart tourism project launched this week will see the use of QR codes, brochures, audio and video guides and more, assisting visitors in choosing local sites to visit.
As a tourism guide myself, I'm excited to share that while this pilot project is still in its final stage, we are rapidly approaching the completion. As we enter the last milestone, we can anticipate that soon that people will be able to utilize the resource for various purposes to enrich the understanding and experience of forestry and souffle in different ways. So this project is not just about creating tourism experience, it's about pioneering innovation and collaboration.
The project also aims to educate visitors as well as locals on the history of significant locations on island. In other news, a challenge to develop innovative answers to issues of climate change through coding has resulted in 3 student teams ascending to the winner's circle.
In recent years, the need to effectively and comprehensively address the issue of climate change has become increasingly urgent. We are witnessing the devastating impacts of rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and environmental degradation on communities around the world. More now than ever, we need innovative solutions and bold action.
Billed as a vehicle to inspire youth to embrace unconventional solutions to real-world issues, the coding competition for climate change is expected to be a catalyst for positive change. The St. Lucia Nurses Association is on a mission to shine the spotlight on the contributions that nurses make to communities across the island.
We started off with a church service at the Auger Evangelical Church in Beaufort. International Day is normally held on the 12th of May. And for the remainder of the month into July, we have a series of activity. Our next activity coming up is our Sip and Paint on the 25th. We also have a series of continuing education workshops.
The Nurses Association, which just celebrated Nurses Week, continues to seek innovative strategies to address challenges in attracting and retaining new nurses while encouraging practicing nurses to participate in professional development activities. The Ministry of Tourism, Investment, Creative Industries, Culture and Information will be hosting the 2024 National Tourism Public Speaking Competition on Thursday, May 16th at the Harbour Club Hotel. The competition serves as a platform for students to demonstrate their understanding of St. Lucia's multifaceted tourism sector and present innovative ideas for enhancing the island's tourism product. Moreover, the competition also fosters a culture of research, critical thinking and public speaking skills among the youth, equipping them with valuable tools for future academic and professional endeavors. The 10 finalists were chosen from the preliminary round, in which interested students were required to submit a 2-minute video depicting what makes a true St. Lucian. The emerging winner will represent St. Lucia at the Caribbean Tourism Organization, or CTO, Youth Congress in September this year in the Cayman Islands. That's a summary of your top stories. Thanks for watching.
Kendall, you're awesome. Thank you again. We take a break and come right back. Speaking of that excursion that my guys went on without me, we kick off with this right here. We went down, they went down to Anshasni to catch up with Caroline. Caroline has been, she has a passion to create a space within the Anshasni Hotel for local artists to be able to showcase their art.
Welcome DBS family, of course, DBS this morning. Now today we have a jam-packed show and a very interesting show at that. As you can see behind me, there are some beautiful pieces of fine art and we're diving into that world today. So kick back, relax, get your coffee. It's going to be amazing and exceptional. I'm joined here by who I would term or deem I will bless an art connoisseur herself. All right, Caroline Trubetsky, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. Nice to be here with you.
Of course, always a pleasure. So we are here at an art gallery in Anshasne, and I believe that it's newly opened. It is the opening day today. How was that journey been for you?
So it's my baby. The baby that I gave birth to in 1990, so that's a long time ago. And even in 1990, we already saw the amazing talent that is surrounding us here in St. Lucia with so many gifted artists. And we wanted to give them a location where they could show their works and hopefully, you know, connect with our guests and our guests buying some of these works. In recent years, I must admit, I have neglected the gallery a little bit, so this feels, in fact, like a reopening. And thank goodness we have Saki here, that is also our resident artist who helped me to curate our first exhibition after a very long break, featuring Saki, Arnold Toulon, and Ron Henry. And hopefully this will be the beginning of more exhibitions to come. And of course, it is not just for our resident guests here at Anshasne and Shade Mountain, but also visitors should stop by the gallery. It's right on Anshasne Beach. And we'd love to see you.
Awesome, spectacular. Now, I'm going to dive into a bit with you now.
Of course.
Your love for art, where did it all begin?
I always joke that had I not chosen tourism as my career, I would have probably become an artist. So I still dabble in art. There are artworks of mine floating around in the house. I would not dare to exhibit them. But I've always been fascinated by art from an early age. And I think that also led to us having a very interesting collection of artworks in our rooms at Anshasne, where we not only had our local artists, but we also we invited international artists to come, be inspired by the surroundings and leave a work of art behind. And that also was a very interesting collaboration that is now spanning over almost 4 decades. And again, has just deepened my appreciation of what artists do.
And that is exceptional. I mean, the way that you still found a way to incorporate your love for art within the tourism as well and so on. I mean, all around the property, it's more or less like one big art showcase at the end of the day. So that is fantastic. How else do you plan? I mean, we're coming back to the gallery, but how else do you plan on even expanding further with art? We know, I mean, there's fine art, there's music, there's all other areas. How else do you plan on expanding that a bit more?
I think that really for the gallery, I see that in addition to paintings, we have an opportunity to also showcase sculpture. And so I think the next exhibitions would have some more of that. Again, for me, the interest is not just in showcasing it, but I'm also hoping to be able to sell some works for the artists. I mean, we all love to show the art, but like we got to sell some as well. But I think that I'm particularly fond, of course, of all the skilled, our craftspeople that do pottery, that do straw weaving, and our wood carvers. So I would love to really showcase this a little bit more on the property regularly, so that also there's an appreciation by our guests of these skills and crafts that are really deep embedded in our culture. With music, it is something I think about a lot. We do have live music every night here in 2 different locations. So not only do we have 1 live band, we have 2 live bands. And it does, even though we weren't really part of the jazz festival, we had Carl Gustav here, we had Arthur Allen here, so it felt a little bit like there was jazz going on here as well.
Right. And of course, I want to commend you again, because the fact that you get a lot of companies, businesses here who who would say, okay, well, we do want to do stuff with the artists here and so on, but it only reaches up to a certain point. But you guys here are going the extra mile, especially in the fact that you're bridging the gap between consumers, buying consumers, not just interested, but buying consumers and the artists themselves, and the fact you're actually holding their hands along the way as well. Not just dropping them in a deep pit and saying, hey, figure it out yourself. You guys are holding their hands along the way. That is exceptional.
So one of my, I would say, projects that I would like to see through is to create, we have the Kaba Way crawl. You heard about this, the bar crawl. The bar crawl, that's done by the Tourism Authority. Did I pronounce it wrong? The Kaba Way crawl? Okay. No, never heard of it. Oh my goodness, you haven't crawled the bars? No. Anyway, the idea simply is we could do really an amazing tour of artists around the island. It's not easily organized, but I know there is a couple of smaller galleries, and I think it would be nice to create for our guests at least some sort of day of art where you could meet different artists around the island. We have done it once or twice when guests have asked for it, but I'd like to organize this more regularly. I want to commend Dr. Didacus Jules of the OECS for putting together a WhatsApp group of artists in the OECS region, because what we're seeing in St. Lucia, that artists are perhaps not having the visibility that we want, or even the appreciation that they should have. I feel that Dr. Jules and OECS are also trying to come up with new and innovative ways to help showcase our artists.
Of course, we only have, unfortunately, a short time to be here on DBS this morning with this feature, but I'm sure that with all that we've spoken about, you have captivated so many persons, other art enthusiasts, and maybe new ones to to dive into this world and so on. Fantastic. I want to thank you so very much for this. Thank you for this initiative that you started and continued with this grand reopening that we'll call it. All right, and of course, do have an enjoyable rest of an exhibition. And you too. And of course, the DBS family will always there for you with anything that you need.
See you soon, I hope. Thank you.
If you're into arts, you probably know that name, Arnold Tulloh. This gentleman's work has been viewed all across the region, and he's also sharing space as part of that exhibition.
Welcome back, St. Lucia, to DBS this morning. Now, we are here with Arnold Tulloh, an exceptional artist right here in St. Lucia. Of course, we're also here at Anse Chastanet at the Art Gallery, and you can see the beautiful pieces behind us, of course. How are you doing this morning, Arnold?
Not bad at all.
And of course, before we even dive into things, could you just remind St. Lucia of who you are?
Well, I'm Arnold Tulloh, artist, visual artist. I also do writing, poetry and stuff, but my main field is painting, fine art and design, and here we are.
Right. So Arnold, could you first tell us how has the exhibition been so far for you?
Well, so far today's basically the official opening day, and I was not even here last week because we had an exhibition in Castries. Okay. So I was actually at La Place Carénage with a show we had. So it's my debut here with my work at this show here. From what I understand, the reception has been very good at the hotel.
Awesome, awesome. So now, Arnold, in terms of your pieces, of course, art is subjective. So from me and my perspective, I could see that you dive a lot into color. You dive a lot into deep saturation and vivid and all this kind of stuff and so on. I'm not going to ask you what's your inspiration. Of course, prior conversation, for those who know, I'm not going to ask what's your inspiration, but I'm going to ask you as to what drives your style into that lane, into a lot of colors, and is it that maybe the island life or so on? Is it just, the way that you go about your own life, your depictions? What drives you towards that style?
Okay, well, first of all, I was born and raised in Dominica initially, and I came to live here like 30 years ago. So half my life was Dominica, St. Lucia, Jamaica. In Dominica, it's very vivid, and it's a rough, hard country, mountainous, and a lot of rivers raging, and brilliant color. St. Lucia, very similar. We have a lot of mountains, we have rivers, but what we do have is brilliant light, so we don't have the same diminished light where countries have snow and winter. You find the palette with artists there are different. what drove me is realizing our first influences were what we read in books from European art, from France, Spain, Germany, wherever. So our influences were coming from outside. So a lot of younger artists were basically emulating what they saw. But from a teenage year growing up, I just felt like our art can't look like that, because we're into carnival, we're into costumes, and I used to help design costumes too, and there was full emphasis on bright color, yellows, reds, orange, you know. So I always wanted my art to start to reflect this Creole aspect of our life.
So now, more or less, I'm pretty sure if you're starting to do that, you were more or less seen as a rebel at that time, right? You were met with a lot of probably some backlash and pushback as to what is he doing? Why is he going this route? And that's not the way you should go. How did you get past that? How did you stay so determined to say, well, guys, no. I mean, what you're doing is not wrong, but I don't think that's the right way for us to go at the same time.
Well, what happened is, as a young kid, I started taking part in little local shows and stuff, going into my teens and 20s. And a lot of people, especially visitors from Europe or North America, would always say, you know, colors are too bright, you need to tone it down and whatever, because it not fit in our house in Sweden or in Norway or wherever. But then they still like it, and they come and they paint in our islands. So I began to travel, and when I went to Guadeloupe, Martinique, Trinidad, different places, I realized there were a lot of other artists thinking like me. So I began to look at it. What? We are Caribbean artists. So like we are creating new Caribbean expressionism. Our work is expressive. It's the nature of our life. Our way we talk, the way we cook, the way our calypso, you know, that's us. So we are people more driven by rhythm. You know, you could call music rhythm, but there's also the rhythm of our life. That, you know, we go from a bright sunny day to a rainy day to hurricane force. And at all times, there's a sort of a beat, an echo of our mixed cultural past. Because there's no Caribbean without the slave trade. So most of our origin is coming from Africa. There's a little mix with Irish, with French, with Spanish, whatever, Indian. But we are essentially Afro-Caribbean people. So that is what I felt, looking at, also in Dominica you have the Kalinago, the indigenous people, and what we have in St. Lucia too, Taino, Siboney, who left examples of their style of decorative art on pottery and stuff. So all these elements came to me as part of what I could identify better with. I'm not Leonardo da Vinci, I'm not Rembrandt, and I'll never be that. Because when you go to a show in Paris, for instance, they always tell you, you're good, but you must look at this great artist, because they think they have what they think is the highest level of art. That means that we could be artists all our life and never achieve that. I said, that's nonsense. We're excellent people too, because they are all copying our style. All of them want to have a Caribbean style.
Art is subjective, it should have no limit.
Exactly. So basically, I just felt more free to follow my mind and go with my instincts, and that's how my freedom of work was born.
Now you mentioned, which is a very good point, that more or less with us being Afro-Caribbean artists and so on, we more or less follow like a rhythm, especially the rhythm of life. When your rhythm of life changes, do you receive it in a standpoint of panic, or do you take that and you also run with it at the end of the day?
I also run with it. I always run with it. I always run with it because for me, I need strong stimulation. You know, you need a meditative, a relaxed part. But when I work, I'm highly stimulated. So as I said, it is our expression. Even the way we talk, you know, we're expressive people. So my work, as I grow, continues to reflect that.
And so Arnold, just to wind down from here, because I mean, we only have a short amount of time on this interviews, unfortunately. But I just want to ask you, even though today is opening day, what are your expectations for this exhibition and what's next for you?
Well, I would hope the best for the show in terms of response, sales, future promotional kickbacks, which happens with shows. Sometimes you do a show, and I've done shows in the past, like in Guadeloupe, and left feeling like I didn't sell anything. And a month later, they called me to France to show in Paris because of that show. So, you know, everything is a stepping stone, and I would advise young artists, take advantage of every opportunity, because your work is able to promote itself, but you got to get it in the right place.
I just want to thank you for...
I'm sorry, in the future, I'm working on a series. I hope to have a show here by November.
We are looking very much forward to that.
COVID basically cut us off from... I did a show in November, December 2019 at Jam de Bois, and it opened late, so into January, COVID came and shut down the show. And since then, I mean, only last week we showed, but I've just only showed online. So I'm saying that, like, now we're making a comeback. We're really hoping that not only the visitors, but the local peoples in St. Lucia return to supporting the arts.
And of course, you have the full support of us, your DBS family as well. So, of course, whenever anything that you do, don't be afraid to reach out to us. We are here. We are fully in support, all right?
Tune in to DBS.
Of course. Well, thank you, Arnold, for being here. First of course, good luck. Well, I don't want to say good luck. You will have an excellent exhibition, of course, and looking forward to everything from you in the future.
Thank you, man. Love and blessings all.
Keeping in line with that, Saki is the in-house artist at Chasney. He's also an art teacher, and you must know the name. It's synonymous with art on the island of St. Lucia.
Welcome back, St. Lucia. Of course, we're still here at the Art Gallery in Chasney. I'm joined here by the great Naja Misaki Simeon. How are you doing today?
Man, you said that name properly, yeah? Naja Misaki Simeon. I'm doing great.
And first of all, well, today is quite a hot day, so excuse us if we, but how is the exhibition going for you so far?
The exhibition so far has been going great. From what we've heard at the hotel, we have a lot of foot traffic up here, so a lot of people are seeing the pieces and they're good reviews.
So, Naja, let's just dive into, let's take a few steps back before we step forward right now. Of course, you have been within the art world for some time. It's been quite a journey for you. First question I'm going to ask you is, what has been your greatest highlight so far in your journey?
Well, boy, my greatest highlight so far is probably the next mural I'm going to do, because I'm always looking for that next big thing to do. So I don't have a greatest so far because I'm still trying to achieve that.
Excellent question, but he answered it like a real artist, let me tell you. All right, so when it comes to the murals now, because we did have a bit of a conversation before St. Lucia and so on. The murals more or less started off like a project for you, all right? It wasn't anything to say funded or so on. You just decide, hey, if I get some paints, I'm a paint. I'm going to do something, right?
The exhibition. Actually, coming fresh out of art school, I returned to the island, wanting to make a big change. I had all my paintings rolled up, and I wanted to go to a gallery and be like, all right, I need a show, Especially coming from art school, you have a little bit of ego with you. But I realized very quickly we didn't have a lot of galleries on the island. And the galleries that were showing artwork, I mean, their audience was not really what my paintings were about. They were selling artwork to people who buy artwork, and that time it was a lot of tourists buying artwork. So I started to create something called the Outdoor Gallery, and that's when the mural started. And I would paint on any wall that was offered to me with regular old house paint. If I had paint, I would paint. It started in the schools, public walls, communities, so on and so forth. So that's how the Outdoor Gallery started. And right now, over 100 murals all over the island, especially in the city, and it's growing.
Could you give us a bit of a sneak peek as to the next big one that you just teased about earlier?
Man. I mean, there's so many big ones coming. I don't know. But yeah, there will be a lot coming, especially by June time. There will be a cricket themed one. Let's just say that. There's another one coming.
Once it's DBS, you get a bit of a hint and exclusive, guys, on DBS this morning. Yeah. Naja, I was asking Arnold a bit earlier, but then you dive more into showcase. I mean, we are in the Caribbean. We are in the culture of color, vibrancy, all these sorts of things, right?
Yep. Similar to this mural out there, yeah.
Which is very beautiful, by the way. All right. You also explore a lot into the world of foliage and so on. Why, if I may ask, why?
All right, there's another story to this. After studying abroad, like myself and Tulo, we were talking about education is the most important thing. And after going away from St. Lucia, coming back made me realize everything I needed was right here on the island. All the inspiration is here. So after returning to the island, going on many hikes, you know, up in the forest, the foliage, the greenery, the flora and the fauna is in your face. And it's what makes the island beautiful. It's what makes people come to the island. Every leaf you look at is unique, especially including the breadfruit leaf and the philodendron, what we call money tree leaf, split leaf philodendron in my paintings, because there are so many variations of just that one type of plant. So the flora and the fauna, it's a journey for me, returning back to the island, going back to my roots, going back into the rainforest where I grew up. So that was kind of the inspiration for that.
And do you think there could ever be an end to the number of items that you see here on island that could be a muse for you?
That's the thing. Once you have the inspiration, the main thing is to express it in a creative way, because all the inspiration is around you. We just need to express it.
And if you could, to any young aspiring artists out there, what words? Because I know there could be a lot that you could probably try and compress as much. If there's one thing at the moment you could leave for them, what would you leave?
One phrase to all the young artists out there: don't be a starving artist, be a hungry artist.
And take it that as you may. Boss Naja, I want to thank you very much for being here on DBS this morning. Of course, all the best with this exhibition.
Yeah.
And
I want to explain this little mural.
Oh, go ahead.
Although we didn't want to explain the mural.
That's fine. You could
But
grab the mic.
this mural that's going on right now is a piece that combines both my studio artwork. You can see the painting within the mural. So it's combining my outdoor work and what I do in the studio. And all of it is still the same theme: foliage, St. Lucia, the tropics, the color, the light. So here we go.
Well, I was inspired bringing you those pictures this morning. I hope you got some sense of inspiration from it. Go on out and enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, man, life is unpredictable. Life is short. When you see you wake up in the morning and those little googly eyes open and you realize I've been given that precious gift, make the most of it.